where literally around the world, millions of people were wondering, is this guy ever going to win the Masters? So there was so much emotion vested in it. But in your own mind, did you always have faith that you would win it?
Yeah, I mean, I always had hope. It's not as if I wasn't going to show up at Augusta and feel like I couldn't win. The week that I feel like that, I'll go up there for the champions dinner and swan around in my green jacket, but I won't be playing. But yeah, I always had hope. I always felt like I had the game. And like I think as everyone saw on that back nine on Sunday, it was about getting over. It was, I don't know what the right phrase is, but defeating my own mind was sort of the big thing for me, and getting over that hurdle. So, yeah, look, I'm just glad that it's done. I don't want to ever have to go back to that Sunday afternoon again. I'm glad that it finished the way it did, and we can all move on with our lives.
Do you mind a quick follow-up? Did you always imagine the idea of putting on that green coat? Was that clear in your mind?
No, that wasn't really. That's, to me, whenever I think about these things, I think about the golf. I think about the golf. I think about the sense of satisfaction of winning the tournaments, and so I never imagined the Butler Cabin ceremony. I never imagined all that things. I imagined hitting the shots that I needed to hit to win the golf tournament.
Can you talk a little bit about the week going home after the Masters? What'd you do? How was that experience? Did it help you recharge? I think Poppy might have been with you. How was that?
Yeah, so we all went over as a family, Poppy, Erica, and I. Firstly to London to see our new house there that we've been building for the last couple of years. So that was fun to see that. And then we spent the weekend in Northern Ireland, and I wanted to see my folks and sort of my immediate family and Michael Bannon as well. So we did that. Yeah, it was amazing. Going home. I didn't want any fanfare. I didn't want to. I tried to keep it as private as possible. I just wanted to see my parents and the people that were closest to me, and we had a really nice 2 days. It was, with my dad, like I never get that emotional with my dad. It was great. It was great to see him. But then, when I saw my mom, we were both a mess for a few minutes. But look, as an only child, I have a bond. I'm lucky, and I know a lot of people feel this, that they have a close bond with their parents, and but I think as time goes on, and I'm getting a little older, and I realize that they're not going to be around forever. It means even more that they were still around to be able to see me complete the slam and fulfill those dreams.
You mentioned things getting back to normal, but next week you're going to arrive at a major for the first time in 10 years without questions of the drought kind of hanging over you. I'm curious, as things have settled and you approach the major, how do you feel differently now that question's no longer there?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. I'm obviously going to feel more comfortable and a lot less pressure. And I'm also going back to a venue that I love, so, it's nothing but, positive vibes going in there next week with, what happened a few weeks ago, and then, with, my history there and how well I've played at Quill. So, it probably will feel a little bit different. I probably won't be quite as on edge, as I have been for the last few years when I've been at major championships. I'll probably be a little bit better to be around for my family, and I'll be a little more relaxed. So I think overall it'll be a good thing.
That's going to sound scary for everyone else in the field if suddenly he's decided he's going to show up at majors, feel a little bit more relaxed, a little less on edge. Damon?
Tell you what, he's the 6th man ever to complete the career Grand Slam. He has 29 PGA Tour wins, 4-time winner of the Truist, and he has separated himself from every other player in the modern game outside of Tiger Woods. From Phil, from Brooks, from Scotty, from JT, from Bryson, from Jordan Spieth. He has all of the most important trophies in this game, and I can't imagine the armor, the confidence that he must feel and that he will carry for the rest of his days so long as he is wielding 14 clubs.
But he's also got all of the important trophies of this year. There have been 2 significant events played in this game this year, the Masters, which he won, and the Players' Championship, which he also won. Both of them obviously pretty tense and dramatic playoff fashion. So he's got to be as confident as he's ever been. And it was interesting to hear him talk about how his phrase was a lot less pressure going into next week. And it's also a lot less of the expectations on himself, because, you know, he's always been a guy who's shown up at majors expecting to contend, but that becomes a little bit easier when you can look at it simply in the micro sense, that he's there to contend that week. It's that tournament. It's not now in the context of what's been missing for a decade, which is really the conversation he has been trapped in since August of 2014. And, you know, he didn't even get to defend his Open Championship title the following year when he had a football injury. So he's had this long dry spell, and he's just snapped that in fashion as dramatic as it's possible to imagine. So the idea of him showing up now at the biggest events in the game and being able to focus entirely upon that week without the layers of historical significance and all of those questions about what he hasn't done in 10 years, it's going to be an interesting thing. I think next week is really setting up, just in the narrative sense, to be a super interesting week.
Yeah, I mean, to complete the career Grand Slam in your mid-30s compared to Tiger, who did it at the age of 24. I mean, Tiger continued to make history and continue to do amazing things. It'll be up to Rory in terms of his hunger level now. What next does he want to accomplish? What other barriers does he want to break through? What other history does he want to make our double-digit majors important to him? Does he want to be a Wayne Gretzky, a Tiger, a Tom Brady, who year after year after year is saying, I'm not full. I still have things that drive me, that push me, that I'm going to spend the time in the weight room, on the driving range, chasing, you know, ghosts, essentially.
Yeah, and I'm sure at some point he's going to reset whatever those long-term historical goals are, if you can actually set goals, I suppose, at that level of the game. But it was interesting to hear him say earlier that he was glad to get the week celebrations over, get the Masters over, get the Slam conversation over, the drought conversation over, and everyone can go on with their lives. And he's going on with his life, and that starts now. I mean, he's got a new target, and that target is the Truist Championship this week.